What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I got a really good one for you. This question gets asked a lot in the Discord. I kind of always wanted to put my 2 cents into it and give you the best power for each nano. Now, of course, this is all opinionated. You can finish this whole game without using any nano powers. You'll hurt yourself because you definitely want to use heal. But I just wanted to give a little bit of insight to what you should pick while you're leveling through FusionFall. So without further ado, let's get into Buttercup. Buttercup is the first nano, but she is a special case because you do not get to pick her power. You automatically get stun cone once you receive her, and some people didn't know that you could change her power. I know when I was a kid, I definitely didn't know you could change her power. And I actually don't recommend you changing any of her powers as long as Coop is still in the game. So Coop is an unstable nano. I'll talk about him more once we get to him. But basically he has scavenge and he will be your designated scavenge nano. You do not need to change Buttercup to scavenge if Coop is around or if you get Coop pretty early. And heal group is just not good at the early levels. It is very lackluster. You're going to be using leech over heal a lot of the times while you're leveling because it gives you a flat 600, and heal group does not compare to the other heals. So it's not worth it all changing Buttercup to heal group. So just keep her as stun. Stun will help you out a lot through the early levels, especially while you're learning through the game. It helps you not die as often due to the fact that you have like periods of invulnerability where you won't get hit. The issue with stun is that cone is not that good when it comes to aiming or reticule. So you're going to get scavenge on Coop anyway. Just keep stun cone. Is going to help you out while you're leveling. The next nano you get is number 2, fan favorite, Zoom, fast feed. Everybody knows it, and that's what you're going to be choosing. Now, number 2 is very interesting in the fact that he plays to a lot of different aspects of the game. For fast feed, if you don't have a vehicle, this is your movement. But he fills that role, and then dash fills the role for racing. Racing is going to be a big part of 3.0 whenever that drops, hopefully sometime soon. So you're definitely going to want to have dash, but as you're leveling, there's nothing that's going to be better than fast feed until you get a vehicle. Once you get a vehicle, fast feed or run itself is not going to be as good as it is before it. Basically because like the vehicle is just going to be faster. The vehicle is going to be faster and you won't need fast feed outside of an IZ. Becomes one of those things where it's very niche. Maybe use it for grinding, maybe use it for racing. Same thing with dash, maybe use it for grinding, maybe use it for racing. Lunch money is its weakest power, quote unquote, because there's really not much to do with Toros in the game outside of trading and getting another vehicle. But as you progress through the game, you're going to accumulate a lot of Toros, and there's going to be another nano coming down the line that bonus will be way better for, just not on number 2. One of, if not the best nano in the game, Eddy. Oh my gosh, bro. Everybody loves Eddy, even though he doesn't have the best look. But the nano Eddy is one of the fan favorites. You can take this all the way to level 36. Eddy is just so good and he's well-rounded as well. Definitely want to take self-heal here. All his powers are good though. Like all his powers are good. Run group is like the weakest of them. Health self is just the biggest heal in the game. It's the best heal in the game by a wide margin, especially when leech falls off. Once you get into the mid, actually leech stays on for a really long time. But once you get up there in the 20s, there's nothing that can compare to heal self. It is the best heal in the game. If you go through your whole FusionFall career without using a single other power, you're going to want to use heal self. That is the one power that you want to keep on forever. It's the way to make this game a lot easier. You playing the game without a heal is kind of just, you're really punishing yourself. You're punishing yourself. Eddy also has guard, which is incredible in this version of the game. It got a huge upgrade and it's way better. Outside of using melee weapons, where melee is very, very strong, this with guard, you get 1 second of invincibility, which is insane. People use it for bosses all the time because guard is that good. If you don't use a melee weapon, guard is not really the best thing ever. It still gives you that invincibility, but it's like half a second. Melee just makes guard 10 times better. It still has the original power of defense from battery drains and everything like that, so you get to keep your potions and boost. But outside of melee, you're not really going to be, especially as a new player, you're probably not going to be using guard all that often, and you definitely don't want to not take a heal when you're a new player. This is so important to take heal here. This is where it starts getting really, really interesting. There is this weird thing in the game where drain is the best damage ability that you can have in game. No matter if you're level 36 or level 4, your Drain is going to do the same amount of damage. It's that strong. Drain is incredible. However, Drain is not going to be as useful during your playthrough. It's more used for bosses. It can really help with playthrough if you're having problems with damaging or you're getting killed a lot. It can help kill mobs a lot faster, but you're going to have a different power that's going to just make your life a breeze up until like level 28. If you're going for Dawn Doom and Bad Max, which are in the future, you're definitely going to want to take Drain, especially if you're going to be doing it solo, because it just makes the monsters die way easier. Do not, for the life of you, ever choose Radar. Radar, hands down, is one of the worst abilities of the game. If I could give it a 0, if I can give a negative a billion, I would. It's terrible. There's no reason for you to use it. All it does is show mobs on your minimap. And this game is almost 20 years old at this point. The last thing you need to worry about is mobs being on your right or your left. You can handle mobs on your right or your left. Radar is not really going to help you out other than that. Definitely needs to be a tweak there. I don't know what they could do. I'm pretty sure it's on their radar, but it's just not good at all. Never pick Radar. There's another one we're going to get to it soon. Just don't ever pick Radar. This should be an X. It shouldn't even be here. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, right? If you're going for the bosses in Dawn Doom and Bad Max in the future, you want to pick up Drain. However, if you do not plan to go kill bosses for a long period of time, or you don't plan to farm bosses in the future, you're going to want to pick Heal Self area. What this allows you to do is be able to use 2 heals. So you can use Heal Self, which is Eddy, and Heal Self area, which is Eduardo. You can use those in tandem. You don't have to wait for a cooldown or anything. It's so freaking good. Another main reason why you want to go with Heal Self area other than Drain is because you do not get another Adaptium heal until Grim. And even with Grim, he has a heal group. He has a group heal, which is not as strong as a self area heal. And then if you don't pick heal on Grim, you have to wait to like level 34, I think. Level 33 for Courage. Courage is the last Adaptium heal nano. He has heal self, and he's all the way at level 33. So you will not be able to get another Adaptium heal until 33, really, or 21. So this is why you want to pick Heal Self area. If you plan on grinding for the mobs in the future, in the bosses and everything like that, pick Drain. If you do not plan on doing that, just go with Heal Self area. Use that in Eddy, and you'll be flying through the content with a breeze. Now we talk about Coop. So Coop is very, very interesting because you can get him once you get to the pass. Coop is one of the best nanos early game. Scavenge is so incredible for leveling. The main issue with Scavenge is that once you're level 36, it becomes useless. It doesn't have much of a use because you are done with the game. There's no reason for you to have Scavenge anymore unless you're changing nano powers constantly. So Scavenge is so important while you're leveling. However, it is a double-edged sword where if you use Scavenge while you're leveling, so pretty much what you do is every time you complete a mission, you have Scavenge up. So you put up Coop, you complete the mission, but you get extra fusion matter each and every time. And it's even more if you have it gumballed. So if you give Coop a Adaptium gumball, you use Scavenge, now you get more fusion matter after you complete every mission. Making sure that you have Coop up, of course. So it becomes one of these things where Coop is just like a rotationary nano, or you just have them in a loadout if you don't feel like constantly switching your nanos every time you want to complete a mission. Scavenge is very important, but again, it makes the game go so fast that you're going to run out of things to do if you beat the game. You can beat the game very, very quickly with Scavenge. You won't hit any walls while you're grinding or leveling. So it's his best ability here, especially as you're going through the motions of leveling. Bonus is really good, especially once you get to the highest level. Like most people, they'll use Scavenge on Coop until they get to 36 and they'll swap it out for bonus because there's no use for Scavenge anymore. Bonus is more important because now you're just looking for Toro so you can trade. And stun is here too, but stun is a cone, which is again, not the best. It's the cone abilities are some of the worst because of the aiming or the reticule. You'll end up missing a lot of times than hitting when you use it. So definitely always want to go for area abilities or target area. Cone is not the best. So you want to use Scavenge on Coop. All right, let's go over some of the event nanos. So there's 2 event nanos. The first one came in as Panini. Not only does she have Rocket, she has heal self as well. Stun area, again, good in the stun aspect of like it's an area ability, but you're definitely going to want to pick Copter Mode or Powder Flart. It's no competition. So you have to get a Powder Flart to get her. She's one of the item creation nanos. You have to buy her from trading. Someone might be generous enough to give you one. There might be a giveaway going on where you can get a Powder Flart. There's different ways of getting it, or you just have to wait until next Valentine's Day. I recommend personally, if you get it early enough, like if you get it at level 4, use her as a rocket. I say that because you already have a heal self in Eddy, but you don't get rocket until a professor at level 12, I believe. So you don't have any rocket. Rocket is better than jump. You're going to be using that a lot more than jump as well, because rocket allows you to fly. Rocket and dash allows you to fly through the map. It's so freaking beautiful. I don't know if you've seen some of the clips that people have done. Some people have done YouTube videos on it too. So I personally, if you do get Panini, if you do not pick heal self for Eddy, which I don't know why you would do that, you want to pick heal self for Panini. But if you already have heal self in Eddy, then you have heal self area with Eduardo. You do not need another heal self unless you just want to swap out Eddy because you like Panini better. Panini is one of the best looking nanos to me, so I definitely understand why you would do that. But she's one of the best nanos. You get such a great ability so early, 2 great abilities so early in the game. She's really, really good. Well-rounded nano, great design by Star. Shout out to Panini, but definitely if you're leveling, if you're going through the motions of leveling, just pick Rocket as her ability. So Blossom is on the weaker side of the nano spectrum. The stun area is better than stun cone, which is what Buttercup has. But she has these powers that are very niche. Stun is going to help you out the most while you're grinding through FusionFall. Antidote is another one of those abilities that don't really have the best usage of sure, right? You're going to be in situations where you have to go through a lot of fusion matter. Think about it like this. If bringing a heal is better than the ability, you're always going to choose heal over it. And Antidote is one of those abilities where heal can pretty much cancel it out, honestly. Like it can cancel it out. You bringing a heal is going to be way more valuable than you bringing Antidote. If Antidote was more of a group thing, it would be a lot better. But since it's only like a solo power, you're going to want to, it's not going to be the best. Freedom group is really, really good once you get to the higher levels and you start grinding the past bosses. The past bosses have stuns and freedom negate stuns. So it's incredible to have, especially on something like Shipwrecker, where there is a phase that you get stunned and there's nothing you can do about it unless you have freedom. So you definitely want to have Blossom in that aspect. And plus she's a cosmic. Cosmics are one of the best in the game. Cosmic and Adaptium and Nanos are some of the best in the game because a lot of the bosses are either Adaptium or Blaston. So go with stun area as you're leveling, but definitely think about changing Blossom to group freedom when you plan on doing some bosses with friends. Wilt. All right, so now we're getting to a little bit more of the, I don't want to say cosmetic kind of powers. What that means is that you only need one of these nanos. So something like number 2 with dash and run, or something like Wilt with jump. Jump is one of those abilities that are very, very, it's not niche, but you're going to find yourself only using it in IZs or racing. There's not really much platforming that you have to do in the outworld, and maybe like 30% of your time spent in game is going to be through IZs. So Wilt becomes one of those, hey, if I have to do X mission that requires me to platform, I'll bring Wilt, but he will not be on my main loadout. Or if I'm doing a race, I will bring Wilt. But things will change up a little bit now that we have dash. So I don't think jump is going to be as strong as it used to be, but we'll see once racing comes out. But you're going to want to go with jump here. The reason why is Wilt is one of the earlier nanos that can get jump. So if you're having trouble platforming, jump is going to be really, really incredible for you. These other powers are decent. Snare does help out a lot if you're using a melee weapon. If you're using a long range weapon, it stops the target from getting as close to you, and it reduces their attack speed a little bit. So it has its niches, but like, again, Snare is one of those things. Will healing outdo it? Yes, it will. You get more damage out of it using it with melee? Yes, but if you're not using melee, you're not using guard, Snare it's not as good as it seems. If you're playing a game in a certain play style where you're doing like a melee only build, or if you only like using swords, Snare will be really good. But outside of that, Snare is just not the greatest thing to use. You're going to be finding yourself not using Snare as much. Stun is way better in the aspect of you still get hit. If you're using Snare, with Stun, you're not getting hit at all. So you're reducing the incoming damage. Even if Snare is reducing the attack speed a little bit, you can still get absolutely destroyed if you use Snare instead of Stun. So it's a toss and turn. It depends on your gameplay and damage area. Like I said before, if you have to choose between doing damage to a mob using a nano power, you're always going to choose Drain. You're always going to choose Drain. It's that much better. Damage is not as good as Drain in this game, unfortunately. Very weird that damage doesn't do that much damage, but you know it does do a lot of damage. It's Drain, but you're always going to want to choose Crazy Air Jump Self for Wilt. Dee Dee, okay, we're getting to some bad nanos at this point. Shout out to Dee Dee, she's really cool. Her design is really cool. I like her pink aesthetic. She's a dope nano. She has some good voice lines as well. She is one of the few nanos that got their power changed. I think she swapped with Wilt. I think she had 2 damage abilities and Wilt had 2 snares. So that snare cone, the Pony Puff Roulette, is from Wilt pretty much. It's Wilt's snare, and Wilt got the damage ability that this was supposed to be. Revive Group, let's talk about it. It's one of the worst powers in the game. It does not revive you. Like, don't let it deceive you. You do not get revived if you use Revive Group. It only revives your group members. So if your group member dies somewhere, it could be far because the distance on group abilities are very far. He can be, or they can be revived using this nano, right? However, if you're not in a group, it's useless. It's useless. You don't get any benefit from using it if you're not in a group, which is really a shame. It's very useless if you're playing solo. So it's not something that you want to grab almost ever. If you really want to use group revive, Dee Dee would be the best one to use it because her other powers aren't really that good. Not good enough as the other people who have revived that have better use out of their powers. Damage point is pretty good, but again, it's not better than Drain. And Snare is more of a gameplay nano power than anything. So if you really want to, Dee Dee would be your group revive nano. If you want a power for every nano, Dee Dee will be that one. In this case, you will pretty much just use damage point. Again, you could pick either one of them. I would highly recommend not using Revive Group, especially if you're going to be playing solo a lot. If you're going to be playing with a friend group, then yeah, group revive will come in handy. But if you're not, it's useless. So damage point is her best ability on here. Again, Snare is pretty good, but it's a gameplay thing and it's a cone too. So it's not as good as a target area or a self area. So you're definitely going to want to pick damage point. And another event nano is Jack. He's the newest nano of them all. If you weren't there for the Halloween event, the pain of getting Jack pre-nerf, my God, bro. I think we were at like 1,100 crates. No, 1,300 crates. It was a lot of crates. We were at like 1,300 crates and no, some of us didn't even get Jack. Jack is unfortunately not that strong. He has a really cool design, but he just has lackluster powers. Revive is just not the greatest power. It's kind of like insurance. Like if you don't die, you'll never use it. You have to make sure you have them out before you die. And it's another one of those things where it's like, okay, well, would I rather have heal here? Yes, and you especially want to have heal because even if you die in this game, the mobs reset. So you die and the mob will reset. So if you were killing a mob and he was down to like half health or whatever and you died and you use revive, it doesn't matter. The mob is already reset. So revive is just not that good. It definitely needs some love. It needs some changes. I don't know what they could do with it. Revive could be really good, but it's pretty useless. It's taking up a slot that could be used for a more important power. A Snare, we can talk about Snare ad nauseum. It's only really a certain gameplay power. So it's if you're not using melee or if you're just trying to distance yourself away from a mob, like you're not trying to get hit sometimes, the Snare is cool, but it's just not the best. Sleep is really, really good. Sleep is very, very strong as well for bosses, certain bosses, not every boss. But certain bosses, I don't want to spoil anything, but certain bosses could be defeated using sleep. Once you hit the mob that is slept, you're guaranteed to get a crit outside of rocket. If you're using rocket, you're not going to get a crit, but if you're using any other weapon, you're going to be getting a crit every time you hit a mob that slept. So it's really good for melee, especially when melee, every 3 hits with melee, you get a crit. It's really good when paired with sleep, melee, and guard. It's really good in that aspect. But again, it's a niche gameplay mechanic. It's a niche gameplay mechanic. You're better off using stun. Stun stuns the enemy. The issue with sleep is once you hit them, they wake up. But with stun, once you hit them, they'll still be stunned. So it's one of those things where, hey, is stun better than this? Yes. Is it a niche gameplay ability? Yes. But it's still really good. If you want to have a nano power for each nano, revive self is good here. Like you're not going to really be missing a snare cone, and you're not really going to be missing sleep area. You're going to have another nano that's going to have sleep area anyway. So it's okay to use revive here. It's okay if you want to revive nano. It could be Jack, but if you don't want to revive nano, always pick sleep area here. Number 5, Leech is hands down the best ability in the game up until level 27, 28-ish. What Leech is going to do for you is going to give you a flat amount of 600 damage, 600 health every time you use it. It is so good. It's so good. You'll have the damage that you need. 600 damage is killing most mobs, especially at a low level. It's insane how good she is. Her other abilities are not as good. They're not as good. We have Revive again. Bro, Revive, another one of those powers that are just like, it doesn't do much. It's an assurance. It's a if you die, this ability works, and your goal is probably not to die a lot. You know, I can see some niche things in when you're going through an IZ and you might die on accident or something from some fusion matter, and you have Revive out and you don't have to start all the way over. I can see that being a good deal, but it's just not, it's not worth. Again, you can have a better ability here. So if you can have a better ability, it's just not worth. Sneak Group is interesting, right? There's definitely areas in the game where Sneak Group is very, very helpful, especially if you're leveling alts. You'll be able to weave through mobs and not have to worry about getting hurt or being damaged, or like something like a hard mission where there's mobs everywhere and you just want to sneak past them. You don't want to deal with any of the mobs. It has its moments. It's just those moments don't really happen that often. So like you can play the game without using sneak, and you can beat the game without using sneak. So another one of those niche abilities that has its moments where it shines and it does something amazing. It's not better than Leech Point. Please do not use anything else on number 5 but Leech Point. 600 flat damage. You'll be killing mobs instantly while you're leveling, and you'll get heals back. Granted, it does fall off really hard. It falls off hard around like level 28, but you pretty much beat the game at that point. You only have a few levels left until you get to 36, so it's like, it's a good trade-off. Use Leech Point. It makes me sad every time I see this man. Oh my god, man, he sucks. Recall has its niches. My main gripe with Recall is that you only use it in IZs. It's going to be really good for racing, so when 3.0 comes out, there's going to be certain IZs that Recall is going to be needed to get good times. But outside of that, you really don't use it. Even if you're in an IZ doing missions, there's not really many reasons to use Recall. Now, I think it would be a great idea to have Recall around the world, like if you had one in PCC, so I can just have Ed up as like my little Hearthstone. But I don't know how with the implications of that. Basically, Recall is not useful outside of IZs, and you're not going to be in IZs all that much while playing through the game. And even when you're in IZs, Recall is not going to be that freaking useful. It's unfortunate because he doesn't have really any other good powers. So Recall, if you want to use Recall on anybody, it's going to be Ed. So we're going to use Recall on Ed because the other garbage power that you should never use, don't ever pick this up, it is worthless at this point. We are living in 2026. We have Google, is Treasure Finder. It really sucks because it could be really good. Like it could have some good use if it's changed, if it gets some love. But right now, all it helps you do is find golden eggs that you can just find on the wiki. You can find exactly where the golden eggs are with a description, with a picture. You do not have to use this ability to find golden eggs. And then on top of that, golden eggs don't really give the best loot either. Like it's a handful of URs in there. It's some power item changers in there. It's not the best loot. Treasure Finder is absolutely abysmal. It's another one. If I could give it a negative a billion, I would. It sucks that bad. Never use it. Exit out. It shouldn't be here. And then here we go with Snare again. So Snare, this is, if you don't have Snare yet, if you didn't choose Snare on Wilt, you didn't choose Snare on Dee Dee, this is where you could get Snare. The reason why we pick Recall is because he's going to be our only Recall. There's other nanos that have the Recall ability, but like they have better powers. We'll get to it, but Recall becomes one of those cosmetic abilities where you don't need more than one of them. Whichever one has it, just have that one on them, and you don't need to get another Recall and another Recall. It doesn't matter which one has Recall. They all work the same, right? So we're going to choose Recall on Ed because his other powers aren't as good as the other powers that other people have. But in the terms of while you're progressing through the game, you might want to do a race or two. Just pick up Recall here for Ed. So this is where it gets interesting. Oh, this is where it gets interesting. So Megas is another one of those nanos that got changed. He had 2 sleeps before. You do not have a drain yet if you picked Eduardo for heal. Drain point is worse than drain area. What I mean by that is drain point only hits one target for the same amount that drain area does for multiple targets. And then you can use it as a single target as well. So drain point is his best ability here. Sleep area is really good with Megas. He's an Adaptium. Adaptiums are some of the strongest in the game. So you could use sleep area here, but you're not going to want to, and you're going to find out in the next like two nanos. It's ridiculous. I'm about to show you. But you're going to want to choose drain point here. We already talked about sneak. It's very niche. It has its moments, but it's not the best. So just go with drain point. Like the reason why I'm telling you not to use sleep is coming up like right now. Surprise, Billy has sleep. He's a Adaptium Nano with a sleep self area. So you want to use drain point on Megas so you can use sleep self area on Billy. Now Billy does have freedom. Freedom is useful, especially once you get to these levels where a lot of mobs stun a little bit more. Freedom is really good for like bosses where you get stunned, you can't do anything about it. But for mobs, you can really out heal the stuns that they do to you, especially if you're using the loadout of number 5, Eddy and Eduardo. This is pretty much the sleep self area for this run. Like if you're going with this run, you're using this one for sleep self area. Damage cone, again, it's fine, but cone abilities just aren't the best. You just want to stick with sleep self area here. Inner Frat Boy is a good voice line as well. Unstoppable Stupid is cool too. You're not going to use damage, but use sleep self area here. This was the GOAT. If you do not have access to Panini, which some of you are not going to be able to have access to, this is your rocket. You finally get a rocket at level 12 in this Professor Utonium. Group jump. Okay, so we have jump already in Wilt, but group jump is really good as well. Pretty much all the people with group jump don't really have the best powers. So you could use group jump here, but I prefer rocket. Again, rocket is now becoming like one of those cosmetic abilities where it doesn't really matter which one has rocket. Rather use Panini, Dexter, Professor, Belladonna. It doesn't really matter which one you have, just which one you like better. Rocket will come in handy more than jump ever will. And then group jump depletes faster than regular jump too. So rocket is the way to go here. He also has a sleep, but we had 3 sleeps in a row. Megas had a sleep, Billy had a sleep, and now Professor has a sleep. We don't need another sleep. We're done with the sleeps. We have Billy as our sleep. You do not need to have another sleep. So we can just use rocket for him. So now we're at him. Him is one of those nanos that if you choose this ability on this nano, then choose this ability on him. What I mean by that is he has a heal self area. Our only heal self area right now has been Eduardo. If you didn't choose Eduardo for heal self area, then you can choose this on him. But the reason why I wouldn't choose him for heal self area is because you're going to get number 1. So let's just say in a world where you don't have Panini, right? You're going to pick drain. You're going to pick drain here. So that's what we're going to be picking. We're going to pick drain area. Again, drain area is the best out of the drains. It drains more mobs than just drain point. But he is a Blast On nano. Him is Blast On. And Blast Ons just aren't as great. And Blast On Nanos just don't have moments where they shine as much. Freedom Self is, again, niche if you're constantly running into stuns, but you rather have Freedom on a Cosmic like Blossom or a Adaptium like Billy. But yeah, we're going to use Drain Area for him. Another very unfortunate case of a Nano having all mid powers. I'm not going to say terrible because Snare and Stun can be good, but they're kind of bad because they're both cones. Cones are the worst. He has Treasure Finder, another absolute terrible Nano power. Never use it. If you want to use, if you want to have it on any Nano, this is the one you want to have it on. You want to have Treasure Finder for whatever reason. Have it on Bloo. Blue's other abilities, they're lackluster. So if it doesn't really matter which one you choose, like you're probably never going to use most of them. Most people do the stun cone because he burps. He has this loud ass burp. He has this really loud burp in his voice line when he does the stun cone, a juice box belch. Bubbles. She is so freaking adorable. I love this Nano so much. She does this little spin. Bubbles is one of those Nanos that have like something for everybody. Jump Self, always good. Damage point, better than the other damage abilities. Like in a way, because it's just one hit is stronger than other damage abilities, but it only hits one target. So I guess in a way you can make it seem like the other ones are a little bit better. And then Target Area Snare. Target Area Snare is the best snare out of all the snares. If you want to pick Treasure Finder for Blue, you can pick Target's snare here. You can pick the Target Area Snare here. I personally put damage point on her, especially for something like Weeper. I'm not mad at you if you pick a snare target area. Like you can trade those up. I really want to put jump on her. You could, if you, again, it becomes more of a cosmetic thing. If you don't want Wilt as your jump, you can use Bubbles as your jump. It's a trade-off. It's fine. It's not one of those you have to pick this power on this Nano, but for this list, we're going to put damage point as their ability. Demongo. All right, this is one of the coolest Nanos in the game. His design is amazing. He has like blue fiery hair, and the hair like flies up and everything like that. It's really cool. Unfortunately, he has a freaking revive. Why? My God, it makes sense because, you know, isn't his whole ability about like reviving the dead or whatever? But we have another snare. Bro, we have these snares back to back. So this is going to be your damage area. Like you've had times where you could pick snare. You've had a damage point. We don't have a damage area yet. Even though cone hits harder, area makes sure you hit every mob. You know, cone might not hit every mob in the vicinity. So you're going to want to go with area every time. It's just more consistent. You go with consistency over damage. Things die so easily any freaking way, so it's like it's not the end of the world if you don't use a damage. Again, drain is always going to be better, but it's one of those things where his other abilities aren't that good either. But if you choose Treasure Finder with Blue and then you do damage point with Bubbles, you can go with Snare self area here. I just choose damage area. We're just getting to the point now. We're in the mid levels where it's more up to you, like how you want to play the game. You pretty much know how you want to play the game now. If you want to use a snare, if you want to use a stun, if you want to use triple heal, it's completely up to you. Like, how are you playing the game? Are you using double rocket? Are you using shatter guns? Are you using melee? So now is the time to ask yourself, like, okay, which nanos do I like the best? And which nanos do I want to bring with me on my adventure? All right, Fourarms. Now, again, he becomes more of a cosmetic. If you don't want to use number 5 for your leech anymore, this is the perfect time to use cosmics. C nanos are really good at this period in the game. If you don't have Coop and you didn't switch over to Scavenge for Buttercup, this is the perfect time to use Scavenge for Fourarms. However, we already have Scavenge in the playthrough, so we're going to be using Leech Point. His sleep is cool too, but Overpower is really good. Overpower is still really good. Leech is still really good at this level. I have number 5 as Leech and Fourarms as Leech. You don't want to use both in the same loadout, but it's fine if you want to switch out one for the other. It really doesn't matter. If you don't have Scavenge yet, this will be your Scavenge Nano. This is where the game becomes more of a slog, where you're in the city more, you're in the wilds a lot more. You're getting to the point where things aren't as convenient anymore. You're not just riding through point to point. You're going from the city to the wilds, and it's a lot longer of a process to get from place to place. So using scavenge to not hit walls where you have to take periods of time where you have to grind mobs, but we are going to commit and use leech point for Fourarms because we already have a scavenge. All right, here it is. So this is what I was talking about with Panini and him in number 1. Things get shifted around a lot because of Panini. Number 1 was always going to be your first aid. First aid is so good, especially back when Panini wasn't around. You didn't have any blast on heal if you didn't use him as a heal, but a self heal is always the better heal. Like it's better than self area, and it's better than group. It depends on what you picked. Of course, if you picked Rocket for Panini, you're going to go with first aid. But if you did pick heal for Panini, you can go with bonus. Number 1 is just one of those nanos that have a really good ability, so bonus kind of gets shafted, kind of like number 2, where number 2 has 2 good abilities and bonus kind of gets shafted. Blaston, again, not the greatest, but it can you still have mobs where they are cosmic. There's not a lot, especially going into the later levels. There's not a lot that are cosmic mobs. So bonus here is not going to be as strong. In terms of just having a bonus Blaston, it has to be number 1. He's the only one that has it for Blaston. So in this playthrough, we're going to go with heal self. I won't be mad if you pick bonus here. You might already have heals. Again, you've had heals this whole time. Leech, Eddy, Eduardo. If you picked him for heal, if you picked Panini for heal, you've had heals, so you can just pick bonus. The next nano that we're covering is going to have bonus. So you don't really need bonus on both of these, especially because he's a Blaston. And again, I talk shit all the time about Blastons. You use heal self here for this playthrough. I wouldn't be mad at bonus though. Of course, it's a cone damage. Absolutely stay away from it. Stay away from it. Get away. Use heal self. Use bonus secondary if you already have your heal nanos that you like. Belladonna, the hardest mission in the freaking game. If you have to go through the Belladonna mission, you know the struggle. She is a pain. There's a way to cheese it a little bit. You can use a triple heal strat and you'll be able to rock it out easily. The mission is purposely hard. If you can challenge yourself, only go with 1 heal, use a little bit different nanos here and there. But Belladonna is, again, a cosmetic nano almost completely. It's more of like, what do you want in your rocket? What do you want out of your recall? What do you want out of your bonus? For me, it's definitely going to be a bonus a nano because we don't have an adaptium bonus. Number 2 is being taken up by either dash or run. Recall is just not useful enough to use it on Belladonna. She has 2 other great powers that you would rather use instead of recall. Unlike Double D that doesn't really have 2 other good powers that you could use. So again, Rocket is a cosmetic. Either you have it on Panini, you have it on Professor. A lot of people use Belladonna for their Rocket because Belladonna just is freaking cool. But bonus is what we're going to be putting through on this one. Adaptiums are so strong in coming up in the next levels because a lot of the mobs are Blastons. So this is going to be our designated bonus. All right, Mojo. The only thing holding Mojo back is that he's a Blaston. Mojo is really good though. One of the best nanos in the game. Has guard, has freeze ray, which is a rain point, and has group freedom. He has amazing abilities all around. He's an all-around plug and play nano where you can put him in any situation and he will be good for it. If you need something to stop you from being stunned, use freedom. If you need a drain point for Blaston, which again, not really going to need, but if you just need a drain point for Blaston, use Mojo. If you need a guard Blaston, use Mojo. You know, he's going to be our guard Blaston. I do like playing as melee a lot, and we don't have a guard yet. This is going to be our first guard. Unfortunately, he just comes at a time where Blastons really fall off. So we're going to use Mojo for guard. Again, I wouldn't use any other power here for Mojo. I think guard is his best ability. Like drain is better for adaptium. Freedom is better for a cosmic. So guard here is like his best option. This playthrough doesn't have a guard yet. So if you wanted to have a guard for any nano, it would be Mojo. Mandark, another unfortunate circumstance for a nano where his powers just aren't that great. Man, he's a freaking Blaston. Like, my God, how many times do we have to talk about these guys? You're going to pick group jump here. You're going to pick group jump. Antidote, if you want to have an antidote nano, Mandark will be perfect for it. However, if you want to have a group jump nano, Mandark will be perfect for that too. So it's, if you really need a group jump, if you don't have a self jump already, which you should have a self jump, or you're in a group a lot and they just need jump here and there, Mandark is a perfect candidate. Most of the time you're using antidote maybe at like higher levels where fusion matter is everywhere. But like, again, you might as well just put a heal there instead of an antidote. I do think you should pick group jump for the playthrough because it's one of the only times you're going to be able to use it. But I'm not mad if you pick antidote here. Like you can pick antidote here. You do have a stun area, but you already have a few stun nanos at this time. You have Blossom and you have Buttercup. If you trade out Buttercup's ability, you can use stun here. Either jump group or antidote on your playthrough, but I prefer group jump. Grim is very, very useful when you're getting to the end game. Like when you're more social because you're trading a little bit more, you're grinding for Toros, you're grinding for items, you're joining in on bosses, on boss fights. Grim becomes very, very helpful, and he's Adaptium, which is perfect because Adaptiums really balance out for bosses, and you'll be using him a lot. Remember when I said Eduardo was going to be your only Adaptium heal until level 21? Group heal is good. It's good, but it's still not the best. It's still not the best. A lot of people do like Bat Out of Heck for group run, but group heal is just so freaking good on Grim, especially for him being Adaptium. And there's going to be one nano that their only ability to use is group run. So using group run on Grim is kind of like counterintuitive. I wouldn't use Bat Out of Heck. We're definitely not using Revive. So definitely choose group heal. This is one of the ones that's like solid. Choose group heal. Dexter, oh my God, bro. He has recall. Again, one-time use kind of thing. Only time you're going to use it is in ICs. It's nothing more, nothing less. Dexter is more of a cosmetic nano because he also has rocket. He has sneak group, which is, again, sure, you don't want to have it on number 5. So if you want to have sneak group, you can have it on Dexter. A lot of people use him for rocket because glide, he has one of the best voice lines. Whee! It's beautiful, and he says glide as well. We're going to use him for rocket. You have multiple rockets at this point. Either it's going to be Panini, Professor, Belladonna. You don't have to choose rocket on him. Again, he's a cosmetic nano, so whichever one you pick is not going to really change much for you. It's just like whichever one you want to do. I prefer rocket though. Glide, his voice line is very, very good. Vilgax is probably like one of the most used nanos in the game. He has null void passage. It's a dash that's used by a lot of the OGs, a lot of the grinders. They always have Vilgax as their dash, or another one that we're going to talk about, or number 2. Sometimes they have number 2, but Vilgax is used a lot. He also has run self, which is pretty null and void at this point. You have a vehicle, you're getting through the IZs a lot quicker anyway. You're going to have dash now. If you didn't change number 2 to dash, you're going to be flying through the IZs at this point. We haven't seen radar in a long time. Don't use it. Never pick it. It's ass. Not touch it. You're either going to do run self or dash. Vilgax, number 2, and Hex. They pretty much have 2 of the same powers. And so it's more of like, which one do you want to have dash? Which one do you want to have self run? I prefer you to just have dash here. This could be your resident dash nano. Really wouldn't use light speed. Definitely wouldn't use radar. So definitely go with dash. All right, so Swampfire. This is the point in time where you're going to be grinding Shipwreck. If you're grinding bosses, Shipwreck loot, you're going to be able to kill them around this level. It's going to be a lot easier when you have Drain Point. His other 2 abilities, again, have their moments. It's Cone, Sleep, so, you know, and then Self, Sneak, you know. But you're going to want to use Drain Point. It's his best ability here, especially for Shipwrecker, who's an Adaptium. So you're going to be using Cosmics a lot for him. So just Drain Point for Swampfire, easy pick. Why did they do her so dirty? My God. Finally got to Mandy. This is who I've been talking about this whole time, where I've been talking about Blastons and one of the worst nanos in the game. It's her. She is the worst nano in the game. She has Treasure Finder, Recall, and Run group abilities that barely get used throughout the game. Group Run is good for grinding, and she has only one power that's useful. Because if you're not doing races, if you're not in the IZs a lot, recall is not that useful. And you'll have recall on some other ones. Either you have it on Dexter, Belladonna, or Ed. And Treasure Finder is absolute ass. So it's run group. There is no other ability for her. It's literally run group. If you were there for the Halloween update, you know how good Coco was. This was a god. Coco was so vital in the Halloween update. Adaptium guard with all the pumpkins around, she was the main event, the main character. Nobody can touch her. And I didn't even like Coco before the Halloween event, but now she's become one of my favorite nanos. She's so quirky in the best way. It's insane. We're gonna use guard for her. We're gonna use guard. You could use freedom. I can see freedom being useful here and there. You're not gonna use stun area if you have guard here in freedom. Use guard, especially for the Halloween update. Oh my God, she was so epic. She was so epic. She was amazing. Oh my goodness. All right, Mac. Cone Sleep, Sneak Self, Rocket. Another cosmetic nano. Fizzy Rocket is dope though. Like, we like Fizzy Rocket. The voice line is cool. Mac also has this weird thing with his eyes where he like blinks really longly or something. Like, he blinks his whole head. It's crazy. But Fizzy Rocket is so easy. It's an easy pick. You're not really going to use the other two. I don't even see anybody ever using the other two. Maybe I've seen Hide and Seek before, but yeah, but just use Rocket here. You have so many Rockets at this point. Pick the one you like the best. If you want to use a sneak, this is another one where you can use it, like Dexter. If you really want to use a sneak, you can use it here. Just pick Rocket. Rocket's just way better than Sneak. You're going to use Rocket more than Sneak. You're going to use Rocket more than Sleep. Number 3, oh my God. Why do they do this to these characters, man? Oh my goodness. Sneak Group and Revive, bro. Take it out the game. It's not there. Holy crap. Her only redeeming quality is Heal Group. Now, she's really good in group heal because of Weeper. Now, the Weeper that we have now is an Adaptium. So when you use a Cosmic Nano on it, it does a little bit more damage. A lot of people use Bubbles, number 3. We're going to go to number 4. Some people use Overpowered on Fourarms, Eddy, of course, for the heal. So like you can really just 3 heal with Weeper. You have Eddy, number 4, and number 3. Don't use anything else. Group heal is better than all of these, all the other abilities. So just use group heal. All right, Computress, you don't want to put Scavenge on her. You already have a Scavenge Nano. You're getting late into the game as well, where like, bro, if you don't have Scavenge at this point, you might as well just not use it. You might as well just have never used it. She's a good guard nano as well, so that way you'll have all 3 guards. You'll have Mojo as the Blaston, Coco as the Adaptium, and then Computress as the Cosmic. But I can see Freedom working out too. I would rather choose guard here. That way you have all 3 guards. So if you ever do want to use a melee, which is going to be really good for bosses. Melees are so good, y'all. Like, please use melee, especially when you're doing bosses. I really wouldn't choose the other 2. If it was up to me, I would just tell you to use guard. If you really want to put Scavenge on her, I guess you're at level 28 now. You're about to just be done with the game anyway. You should already have Scavenge by this time. And Freedom Blossom is going to be a better Freedom because she does it in a group, which is better because everybody around you and your group gets it. And we're going to have another Freedom at the very end of the game. So just use Computress for guard. Hex, another banger. One of the coolest nanos in the game. This is another one where you see a lot of people use Hex. Hex has one of the coolest animations too, as a nano. He like does this little trick where he throws his staff up in the air, he spins and catches it. It's really, really cool. Hex is dope. Hex has good abilities. Hit sleep area, again, you have better abilities here, so you're not going to use sleep area, but again, it has its moments. Like, these abilities have their moments. Like, I don't want to bash sleep too much, even though I probably bashed it so much before during this video. But like, it's not terrible. It's not terrible, but you have better options. Summon Wind, another one that's a run. If you really want to have a run, bro, just have it as Mandy. Just have run as Mandy. But Dash, you're using Dash for Hex. Another banger. People use Vilgax number 2 and Hex for their Dash all the time. All 3 are really, really cool to use as well. They have great voice lines. Hex gets used a lot. People love Hex. Juniper is an interesting case where you're so late into the game, you already have most of these powers on other nanos. It's always good to have an Adaptium type for anything that you're going to use to damage an opponent. So Leech Point, at this point in the game, Leech is not as good as it used to be, especially at level 30. It's not hitting hard at all anymore. It still gives you health back, but you get way higher health from your other heals at this point in the game. Most people normally just put leech on her just because leech is a good power if you're grinding for things that are lower level. If you haven't done snare this whole playthrough, this is a great time to pick it. But I can't see myself using jump. There's going to be Samurai Jack coming up soon, which is probably a better jump to use. However, with this list, we are going to definitely choose leech point. All right, number 4. Number 4 is interesting. Very interesting. He has a revive, which again, a group revive at that. Cancel out. Oh my God. Can I stomp on it? Like, what can I do? Can I just remove it here? Like, bro, you already have a drain on Swampfire. You really want another drain? You can use it here. I personally am going to choose healing. Healing is the best power in the game. So anytime you have a heal, you're probably going to use it. Battle booster is what's used all the time. Sabotage strike is used too for certain bosses. But you just go with heal. I'm not mad at you if you choose drain area though. I'm not mad at you, but definitely you want to go heal self area. Ed gets shafted as well. Now he does have sleep and snare, but like, bro, at this point, man, you're at the end of the game. Just put snare on Ed. Do not use radar. If you want, this is one of the ones where if you want to use radar, if you want to have radar on any nano, use it on Ed. Because his other 2 abilities just aren't good enough as other people who have radar, like Eduardo and Vilgax. They have better powers. These powers don't really, it's okay if you don't have them. Use snare. You're gonna pick snare. You could use sleep as well. It's up to you. But we don't have a snare self area in this run yet, so this will be a good time to pick it up. We're doing snare self area. Here he is. Courage the Cowardly Dog. Bro, it took you forever to get here. I think he had a different power. I can't remember which power he had, but he swapped powers with somebody. I can't think of it right now. I don't think he had that sleep, but you're going to choose heal self here. Do not pick scavenge here. You are at the end of the game. You do not need scavenge at this point. So yeah, you're going to use heal self. It's the Adaptium Nano with heal self. You've been waiting for this forever. It's finally here. You can change out your nanos to whatever you like at this point, but you finally have it. Heal self for Adaptium. All right, so Samurai Jack, it's up to you. I choose damage point here. Damage is not as good as drain. If you want to use Adaptium for damage point, jump is good here too. I see people use him for jump a lot as well. Right at this point, it's like it doesn't matter really what you choose. You have a damage point in Bubbles. You have a damage point in Dee Dee. Do you really need a damage point Adaptium? If you want, yes. Yeah, out of all of them, yes, you do want a damage point Adaptium. Antidote is cool. If you need somebody with antidote, group jump is cool, but I'm picking damage point. I'm picking damage point here, even though I feel like group jump will be used more. Like you'll use group jump a little bit more, especially for moments where you're grinding or going through IZ or something. You'll use group jump a little bit more, but I would choose damage point here. All right, Aku, another really, really easy one. Don't even have to think. Bonus. It's bonus. It's going to be bonus. Cone, absolutely not. Won't be me. Use bonus. He's really, really good as a bonus because he's cosmic as well. So a lot of the mobs that you'll grind for to get Toros, you'll be using Aku. Here we are, Humongosaur, and he's a whole lot of mid. The last nano in the game, and he's mid, bro. It's so sad. Cone, area damage, it doesn't matter at this point. If anything, use freedom. Like if you need like a self freedom, you already have Blossom as your freedom at this point. I know Blossom was a stun at first, but you don't need her to be your stun anymore. If you want to have him as damage, sure. I wouldn't use snare. You can swap out damage in freedom self, but freedom is probably going to be his most used ability because just damage is it's just not worth it. You're going to be hitting hard, way harder than damage most of the time anyway. So you're good with freedom self. So surprise, there's one more nano to get after you like beat the game. So it's an optional nano. You don't have to get Runty. A lot of people actually don't have Runty that didn't complete the game because they're grinding for things like PRS. He has sneak, he has drain point, he has snare target area. At this point, it doesn't matter. You know what he is. He's a Blaston. So bro, yeah, you don't need a drain on a Blaston. It's not really going to help all that much. And you already have area drain on him. So just use target area or sneak. I think Runty and sneak fits better because he's like a fusion monster that's good. So it's like, okay, you have him out, you can like sneak through things because the fusion monsters won't think twice and everything like that. But yeah, Runty, it doesn't matter at this point. Just don't pick drain. I prefer sneak because it just fits a little bit better, but it doesn't matter. All right, and that's gonna wrap it up. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, this is all opinionated. You can go through the whole game without nanos. You can go through the entire game without using one nano. It's gonna hurt not using a heal, but nanos are all up to you. Which nanos are your favorite? Put it in your loadout and pick the best ability for you. I'm just giving you a rundown of which abilities you should choose for in each nano. Here's the list of all of them so you can know exactly which one to pick for who. You can just have this paused here while you're grinding and going through it. If you got this far, tell me what's your favorite nano down below, and I'll see you on FusionFall. Peace.